There's nowhere at all I'd rather be today than here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. We have an incredibly competitive field this year, which means we should be in for a treat. And judging by the sea of people filling the grandstands, there's a fair-sized chunk of Germany that agrees with me.
Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to F1 2019, last to question mark career. This is episode number 12.
And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Magnussen, Vettel, Carlos Sainz, and Hülkenberg, Verstappen, Raikkonen, Gasly, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Ricciardo, Kubica, Lance Stroll, and Leclerc. Albon, Perez, Roman Grosjean, and Daniel Kvyat, Russell, and the Professor. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So we're ready to go racing here in Hockenheim. We continue on with our journey here in Season 2.
Big cars ahead braking suddenly into one. We could ruin our race if we hit them. Good luck.
And it feels like it's been a while, even though it really hasn't. I put out one new episode every week, so obviously I'm only recording one per week. And it's been 8 or 9 days since I did the last one. I'm a little bit off on that exact timing on when I recorded the last to when I'm recording this one. However, just, I don't know. Feels like it's been a while, maybe because as a coach, basketball practice started this week. So I've had a long week, tryouts going on. And then also, a factor as I'm about to get this race started, about a year and a half ago I played soccer, still do, as I'm approaching my 40s. A year and a half ago I tore my calf muscle pretty bad. Grade 2 tear, so tore through pretty good on it. Anyway. A lot of scar tissue in there. It still gives me trouble frequently. And just tweaked it a little bit in my game a few days ago. And I'm feeling it a little bit. And that's not easy when you're working the pedals. So with that in mind, let's go racing. Now, I want to say that last season I DNF'd here. Good exit there. Oh, sorry, Raikkonen. Had somebody ride my left rear tire after that, so I lost one position, but I'm in the top 10. I am in the top 10 after 3 corners. I'm in 9th place after 3 corners. That was a phenomenal start. Huge dive up the inside there. After a tremendous turn 1. There we go. Now we're starting to close down Gio. It's been a while. Oh, that's where I messed up before too.
Okay, you're in the top 10.
Oh! Or just come straight across the track and hit me, go further than the apex, go up onto the sausage yourself to take me out? Sure. Sounds wonderful. Tried to stay to the outside and end up losing ground. Uh-oh. Yeah, sorry. I missed my braking zone entirely. There we go. Up to P7.
Okay, you've got to leave room for other cars. We can't take too many penalties.
I left plenty of room. There was a lot of space to the outside of the track. Well over a car's width, but fine. He hit me, not the other way around. I made no contact with him, I just ate up the space. Ooh, hello. Did you hear that? My left rear caught a little gravel, and I went into just a brief power slide there, and I did not turn down my ERS, did I? Ooh, terrible sequence of turns there. That was not good. And here comes Gio coming back at me. Oh, he hit me. Was that really necessary? Where's your warning? I stopped driving so slow all of a sudden. Really outdoing myself in these braking zones.
You're in the top 10 now. Keep it up. We're leading our teammate by 1.5 seconds.
There we go. All it took was one sector of driving well. And I open up a big gap behind, and I close these guys down in front. Of course, turning the fuel up helps with that a bit. It's Raikkonen in 7th in the Racing Point. Of course, he's not in the Alpha because I am. Alright, we are close enough to make a run. We have also gone purple through the first 2 sectors. Chance for a bonus point here.
That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
Nope. Almost saved it. Was planning on keeping it in there. Ugh, I'm not a fan of before the braking zone. Let's do it after that braking zone. Oh! Or just shoot me off into the grass, why don't you? And then now I've got nothing. Oh, that's... You know what? I don't like that overtake at all. That flashback just shot me off into the grass, and then there was nothing clean about that. That was not cool. That worked just fine though. That was a good clean overtake. I don't like redoing a redo, but that was garbage both on how it sprung me and then right to the inside, keep it in long enough. We're into P7. Now, my hopes of higher positions seem to be gone, as I haven't been able to maintain the speed well enough, long enough, especially with the overtakes. I've got 3 cars ahead of me, but we're already on the last lap, so won't catch them and pass them on this lap. I might catch up to them just a little bit here. Checkered flag. Good race.
Great drive, great
Really good
drive.
race.
We're really
7th
happy with
place.
that performance.
Mostly clean.
That's it for another
The only
Grand Prix.
downside was
Fantastic
I
win
had
for
9th
Mercedes.
place by the 3rd turn and only managed to get 2 more spots after
Anthony
that.
Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Some of that's the
It was
car.
a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed
Near the
package
back of the
on day,
grid.
and a driver who knows how to take
You're only going to
advantage.
get so high. It's hard to
Doesn't
beat those
take
top
time
6.
spent poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace. And our winner today showed they could do both.
So after a magnificent
Wow, actually, I got
race,
the
we can now
post-race
see the
highlight.
drivers making their way to the podium. Let's see what effect this result has had
People finished.
on the
They
drivers'
finished in
stand.
places.
Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the Professor. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So Sainz in the McLaren gets into that top 6. Remember, we actually have a top 4 teams now with McLaren up there, but Perez had a bad race. Started from 16th. And we did beat Leclerc. My teammate actually got into the points. I think that's the first time he's done that since I've been on the team. And I get all the way up to 7th. Another good result. 40 points on the season now. And meanwhile, I have hit best of the rest status outside of the big 4 teams after McLaren has made their way into that conversation this season. So that's actually a really big improvement. Of course, a lot of those points, though, I did with Renault and not with Alpha. Renault, meanwhile, is in that next best position. Looks like we have a three-way battle between myself, Hulkenberg, and Gasly for the best of the rest status. And yes, Giovinazzi has scored his first point of the season. Lando Norris, who I replaced, had just 2. But Kimi, who replaced me, had, 4 points when he was with us? Something like that. So as a team, we now have 25. Again, the majority of those are from me. About 20 of them are. Poor Williams, the only team without a point. They've been up there. They've been in the mix a lot more this season. Just not scoring. But that's one race in the books. We're going to move on to the next race weekend.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Pretty happy.
You were
I would have
cutting your
been
way through
happier
the
if I
field
could have
during the
moved
race.
up another spot or 2, though. I want to keep the engine department
Your team
happy.
must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Really glad. Sportsmanship.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
You still ask. That was actually much cleaner than
You
normal.
had a bit of contact today. Who was at fault there?
No comment again. Thanks
Well,
anyway.
Thanks anyway.
She's really poking and prodding for the negative answer. The juicy media response. Ooh. No, never mind. I thought I actually gained a point on Giovinazzi, but no. Next week he's gonna get a bonus because he's gonna win the duel. And you see, I've just been neck and neck, but one race. I didn't have the fastest lap, was it, between us? Or was it one race that I didn't finish behind him? Or that I finished behind him? One of those two things, but just a single time that I struggled. It was finished position. Monaco, I think. One time I finished behind him. And then that was it. And he's going to win the rivalry. Otherwise, it's neck and neck all the way through because I always gain 2 points, but he always gets 2 points for qualifying. Every single time. Team rep's looking solid, though. That's a big help. That is such a big help after getting fired so many times. Oh my goodness. 685 points. I'm going to hang on to those. That is not much. We had a new aero upgrade heading into this race. We have a new engine upgrade heading here to Hungary. We're going to take some more points and maybe go for a larger level upgrade. So upgrades have slowed down a little bit here just now. They're coming along though. Making progress. Trying to think when the next contract's coming up. Kind of lost track on where we're at with that. The ERS is the engine upgrade. Looks like we're going to have intermediates for the race. That's not good. That's not good. Let's take the additional points for practice. See if we can then get an upgrade. Okay, 1080, we might be able to do something with that. We've already completed our current goal. And it's always a big one because when it gives you a qualifying goal, we are very much screwed in that regard. So, 1080. Things are a little bit cheaper on the chassis side. Let's see if we can afford something. 1085. About aero. 1172. Engine. 1026. Well, ding ding ding, we have a winner. Ooh, ready for Italy? I like that. I like that. I'd bump our engine up to just shy of, well, the big four teams, putting us above Haas, who we've come on par with here recently. Powertrain has now become our most effective piece, and it's one thing I'm really going for, because the aero and chassis, the way it is, and the way the AI level is, right? We've talked about this. The AI, it's not on the straight. They're not slow on the straight. They're slow through the corners. If you can get an excellent exit from a corner, yes, you could have an advantage on a straight because they're not going to get a tremendous exit. But other than that, they still get 100% of their normal speed. It's just through the corner. So with long sweeping corners, Russia, Sochi is the easiest track on here. It's wide and there's long sweeping corners. For that, they're a little bit slow through. Hungary's got plenty of medium corners that I think I can make up some ground on. But it's not a wide track, so it's not easy to make passes here. So we'll see what we can do with this race. But engine power. For me, that's huge, right? Because that's where I have a disadvantage. So it's really hard to make my way through the field sometimes when we have that. Hold on, before we go any further, power unit, how are we looking? 46%. One more week, my rule is 50%. So, ICE next week. Okay, well, on to the race, and not looking to be a pleasant one, as we're most likely going to be on the intermediates, and that's just going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. But then again, if I can survive this race, could be to our benefit, slowing everybody else down. And yes, we do have light rain for the start of the race.
Popular destination, this nice and close to the beautiful city.
As I get ready to start this race, open with a controversial topic this time.
His old teammate Rubens Barrichello up towards the pit wall in 2010. All those great races of 2014.
Anyone who saw
2015 as well.
the race in Japan recently,
it's like Monaco without the boats. 14 corners,
many would agree
8 to the right, and some very tricky
that
corners
Vettel much deserved a penalty at the start of that race.
So it's very likely
And there's plenty that would argue that he was fine. Now,
Anthony Davidson joins me again.
the rules clearly state
Let's talk
any
about
movement
Renault. They haven't had a single
prior to
time
the lights
in
going
last
out.
10 races. What do you make of the car's reliability?
I think they can be
Raikkonen got a penalty.
so far. The first thing any good car needs
Somebody else got a penalty too, right? Not that long ago on it, besides Raikkonen. Yeah, Raikkonen might have moved more, but if we're talking about gaining an advantage, is what some people are trying to argue. Raikkonen got a penalty and did not gain an advantage. He moved 5 feet. He stopped. Red Bull's on front row lockout, by the way, with a McLaren in third. Raikkonen moved 5 feet, stopped, and went. Lost a ton of positions. That's not an advantage. Vettel stop, and then went and lost one position. He actually cost Leclerc a position too, as he freaked out. But Vettel didn't gain an advantage, right? He was on pole. He wasn't P1 by turn 1. But that's not what the rules state. The rules state false start is movement. Okay, sensor didn't pick it up because he didn't move very far. Well, you look at the replay and they talk about the box, right? That's the key thing, is movement out of your box. The yellow line to your right front tire isn't the box. And it's not the mark either. It's just a guide. It's a guide for your wheel. Why is it a guide for your wheel? Because you can't see your nose. You can't see the front of your vehicle. But on the replay, his start-stop, you can see the line. Now, he's not all the way over the line with his wheel, but his car does not start at the center of his front wheel. Car starts at the front of the wing. That yellow line is a guide so that you can put your wheel on that, so that your wing, the front of your wing, does not exceed the limits of the box. He was way over the limits of the box. Now, I know it's controversial, but it's only controversial for one reason. Vettel's fans, aka Vettel fanboys. But Vettel's fans are so defensive of him, no matter how many feet he puts wrong. The guy puts so many feet wrong that you would think he's not human because he's putting more than 2 feet wrong at the same time. I think Vettel and let's go ahead and start the race, and I'll try to continue this topic as we get into the race here. Vettel, what's happened to Vettel is what happens to a lot of people, myself included. Here's my example. Years ago, wow, quick start. Years ago, I did a bowling league when I was in college. Just one season. I just did a single season of it, so it wasn't something I was into a long time. Wheel spin off the exit. It's costing me 2 positions, and I can't see a thing here. Oh! No. Oh, if I could have saved it, I would have stuck with that. Okay, coming off that wheel spin. Ugh, this wheel spin. So much of it. Okay, we're in 18. Anyway, years ago I did this bowling league for one season. I started off with an average right around 100. Not good for bowling. If you know bowling, 300's the score that you can get. But I quickly picked up my technique, and within a few weeks, I was getting like 130. Big improvement as we go off into the grass, and yeah, this is going to be that kind of race. Whoa, hey, I can see that better. Why can I see that better all of a sudden? Oh, that's why. It was just temporary. I'm just getting a lot of spray on the cars in front of me right now. Anyway, as the season went on, I got better and better. My scores got higher and higher. I developed a really nice hook, got a lot more accurate, got consistent, and by about 3/4 of the way through the season, I shattered my best game and got a 208. It's funny that I still remember the number, but I got a 208. So I got over 200 for the first time. It was a good 30 pins higher than my previous best. Maybe 40 pins higher than my previous best. As I'm going backwards a little bit. Ooh, I got a nudge there. Okay, well, we hold the position, but I'm going backwards otherwise. Really struggling to go anywhere. Wheel spins costing me a lot, and I'm just not getting the grip I need to outdo these guys. Anyway, that was fantastic, and I was really proud of myself, and I was really excited. Here's what happened, though. Suddenly, I thought that 208 was going to be what I was going to do every game from that point on. That was the new bar. I set the bar high. As we... Woo, saved it. Lost time. This poor guy's behind me. Grosjean just can't get around. Yeah, looks like I'm going to be 18th in this race. Huge gap in front. Ugh, I'm so quick here in the dry. I don't think I've ever raced hungry in the wet. Which is surprising. I mean, it's a region that gets plenty of rain. Anyway, with my new bar being set so high, well, I'm coming back at him a little bit, maybe. Ah, come on. Saved it, yes. With my newfound expectation of a 200 every game, I suddenly wasn't flowing, was struggling to find a rhythm, and all of a sudden I was right back down to 150s. It happens when you suddenly have expectations that you're just not quite there, that you can do occasionally but not consistently. The expectation, the pressure gets to you, and you make mistakes. And that's exactly what I did as a bowler since. Now, I've never had above a 170 since in all the years since then. Not that I bowl very often at all. say these days I bowl maybe twice a year. But that's life, and it happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. But when you place expectations at a certain level and you're not meeting them, you get frustrated. You make mistakes. You push. You don't relax. You don't go with it. And to me, that's what's been happening to Vettel. I think these last few years, pretty much ever since Azerbaijan, that's where I've really noticed it. Azerbaijan, where Vettel took out Hamilton. Well, okay, he didn't take him out, survived it, but where Vettel did his little douche move and went after Hamilton and slammed into him under the safety car. That to me, that was the defining moment of Vettel's career. Not the championships. That's the other defining moment, of course, but I push a little deep to try to keep the position. Been blocking a lot here, using way too much track, keep these guys at bay. Anyway, that's my thought. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about the matter, because I know so many people are passionate, especially fans. Fans always give him a pass, and you know, the same can be said of any driver, any sports team, any family, right? You love your family and you give them a pass. They screw up again and again and again, and yet you still support them. We do that with our favorite drivers, our favorite sports teams. It's a common thing to do, so no surprises to me that, you know, that his fans stand by him. Out of spare fuel, that's not good. Whoa! Way deep, way deep. Oh, I don't know how I kept that position. At least I'm not in last, but, you know, I haven't seen the cars in front of me for a long time. Ooh. Major power slide through that turn. Don't know how I kept that thing straight. Have I used any flashbacks here? I think I've kept a clean race. No, I did have a spin out once, right? So I used one. To me, that's a winner right there. In the rain. I could have easily had a top 10 here. Well, not easily. It's not easy to pass here. I've got to admit that. It's not easy to pass here. But I'm fast here. In the dry. One of my faster tracks, anyway. Again, wheel spin on the rear. Getting a bit of oversteer. Saving it. Max Verstappen takes the race win. Whoa! Ooh, another close call. Oh, I'm out of fuel. I'm out of fuel. What? No! What? How did I run out of fuel? Seriously? I turned the fuel mode down.
Not our best day by any means.
I turned the fuel down. I get on the final straight. I was not looking at the fuel that last lap. I was just trying to drive. Seriously! 18th the whole flipping way, which is not good. But at least it's not last. And then I come off the final turn and I run out of fuel. I had plus... I had what? Plus 10? Plus .10? of a lap. That should have been plenty to get to the end on that final lap. I had turned the fuel mode down.
Standing fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off.
Damn it.
They do so much for
Now
the sport you
that's
can't
frustrating
be
right there.
delighted by today's race win.
Technically, I made a mistake, but driving in the wet there was so complicated. All that oversteer, understeer, wheel spin constantly. One flashback the whole way. I'm just cruising through. Yes, off the pace, but I kept 2 cars behind me. I was driving well enough to do that. And then it runs me out of fuel at the last flippin' moment. I only lost 10 seconds. I mean,
But there's no question in my mind, it has to go to George Russell. What a performance.
John
He's
Russell.
got every right to be proud of what he accomplished out there today.
what did he accomplish?
Check out the constructors' standings. It was a tough race for our
Where is
championship
Russell?
leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Another team that excelled today was Williams, who make further progress up the table. And with
I
that,
don't
we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more
Am I
races
blind?
lined up,
I don't
be
see
sure to
Russell.
join us when we come back.
Oh!
Formula One.
What? Russell! 3rd! Oh, that's definitely driver of the day. Good job, buddy. 3rd place after starting at P10. After Williams have had 0 points. Apparently they need some wet races. A lot of them. Wow, good job. That was a disaster for me. That was an absolute nightmare. I much prefer the 18th over the 20th that I got. Running out of fuel at the last second. What the heck? Can't all go your way, I guess. Well, well, well. It happens. It happens. Of course, not only do I finish 20th, but I lose the rivalry here. I still had the faster lap. I still have the... How do I have the finishing position? He finished above me. Did he end up with penalties? I do get that bonus. Reputation. Okay, the team goal counters the other factors. That's good. That's good for us.
Commiserations on that
New
result.
contract.
It's been a tough weekend.
Without a disastrous, yeah, one tough weekend, but we balanced it. We did have a finishing position once, so the team goal luckily countered all the negatives at the end of that race. So new contract negotiation. Of course, the expected qualifying position's never going to go my way, but it's an easy way to help with the contract. Race position, we've been locked in at 15th. We'll see if we can get some contract perks because the value has gone up a lot. So we'll take that. Oh wow, we could set it all the way down to 19th. I don't mind 15th. We've been easily hitting that most of the time. We'll go first driver. I'm gonna try 2-2 and none and none. And let's go 3 and 3. See how that goes.
Our proposal is
Okay, we made it. Hey,
The new
nice.
contract will take effect from the next race month.
So I can still only do one upgrade at a time, but with the amount of points that we bring in R&D, it's not like I can really afford to do much in terms of simultaneous upgrades. I mean, yes, maybe we can do 2 at a time, but we're talking about different departments, right? I can't do 2 in the same department, same time kind of thing. So trying to balance 1, 2, 3 departments, that's already plenty of space to spread that out. So taking that one away gave us enough of a bonus that I was able to get the upgrade speed way down, so they're all reduced. That's good. But I especially like the race bonus now. And I still kept the expected race position at 15th. Also, team order bumped us ahead of Giovinazzi to go to first driver. So it's good. We basically added 3 levels here. T-border, 2 contract perks going up. Took one away that I wasn't even using. Didn't even realize I had. So there you go, new contract. We've got some R&D points right now that we could flush out into an easy upgrade for the next race weekend. We may do that. That's going to do it for this episode, though. Decathlon Gamer. Be sure to hit that like button to keep this series alive and going. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.